column, we do have a column dedicated for cost center, department, cost element, expenses, expenses category, budget allocated year to date, budget full year, and actual amount incurred for year to date. So basically what I want to do is I want to prepare a variance analysis dashboard which shows the variance whereby the budget allocated versus actual amount incurred year to date. And also I just want to see what is the overspend or underspend. So let's get started. So what I'm going to do is I want to go to my Power BI. I click import data from Excel. Once I click here, you will notice a box will appear. So we need to choose the file. So it depends on which file and where you save the file. You can save in desktop, downloads or document. So in this case, I save in my desktop and this is the folder. So I'm going to select Variance Report 001 January 2023 and I'm going to press open. Once I press open, you will notice that a box will appear. So I'm going to tick this box over here, variance, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go to transform data. So when I go to transform data, automatically it will be navigated to Power Query Editor. So here we have the dates column, cost center, department, cost element, expenses, expense category, budget allocated year to date, full year, and actual amount incurred year to date. So in this given data, what I want to do is I want to find the variance. Variance means difference, which means the budget allocated year to date minus with the actual amount. So I just click it over here. So now we have two columns. So what I need to do is I want to find the difference. So I go to add column, I click standard. Basically I want to minus. So the word for minus is subtract. Click it over here. So we have the difference between the budget and also actual. And I'll rename this to variance. And I press enter. So right now we do have the variance. And if I want to go back to Power BI, I'm going to click home and close and apply. So once I press close and apply, you will notice that it will be navigated to Power Query Editor. So now in this case, what happened is it will go back to Power Query and our data will be presented on this data pane over here. So here is our sections. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on a slicer and I want to choose for department. So basically in every company there will be a head office and each head office will have a respective departments or divisions, and I don't want the slicer to be this format. So I go to slicer, format your visual, slicer settings, and I click here tile. So once I click tile, so now here we have the tile, and then what I'll do is I'll expand this. So right now this is how it looks. So now this is our slicer. The next thing what I want to do is I want to create a card. So I'll just click on the white color screen. Over here we have a visual 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to click on this card and I want to click on budget allocated year to date. I click it over here. So now this is the data, but I don't want the word called 15M. I want the full number. So I'll go to format your visual and then call out value, display units. Instead of auto, I click here as none. So there you go. But if just say you want the numbers to be interpreted as an accounting format, you can actually click it over here and you can click on this 1000 separator on this comma. Or the longest way is you can go to the model view. Under the model view, here you can multi-select. So I can select actual amount, press control, budget allocated, press control button, budget full year, and then I expand this and I want to do for variance as well. So you need to use your two hands. One hand press the control button, another hand use your mouse and click variance. So we have already selected this 1000 separator, press yes. So we'll have the comma. Then after that you go to the report view. So now this is the report is. So what I'm going to do is I just want to arrange accordingly. So down this is how it looks. So here we have budget allocated. Okay, now the next thing is I'm going to copy this, Control C, Control V. So here we have another card. Okay, Control C, Control V. Here we have another card. Okay, so let me just adjust. Control C, Control V. And here we have another card. Okay, so let me just expand this. Okay, so now this one here for budget. Here what I'll do is I will unselect the budget allocated, and what I'll do is I will select the actual amount. There you go. So here we have actual amount. Here the same thing. I will unselect the budget allocated. I'll select the variance. So now we have the variance over here. So variance is budget and actual. So the difference between budget and actual will get the variance. In this case, we get negative because our budget, when we minus the actual, we notice that the budget is smaller than the actual. So that's why we have a negative variance. And over here, what I want to do is I want to create a status, a variance analysis status. So I go to the new measure. So basically what I want to do is, if just say the budget is greater than actual, what I want to do is I want to write here underspend. Otherwise, it is overspent. So basically this is what I want to write. So what I'm going to do is I will name it as variance analysis, or you want to write the name as status also can, up to you. If the sum of budget, why I need to write the sum? Because this is actually a numbers column. I cannot simply write budget. I'm not able to write budget, it will not pop out. So I need to write the word sum, and I need to write here budget. Budget allocated year to date, close the bracket, and greater than sum of actual, and then close bracket. So if budget greater than actual, the name will be underspent. Otherwise, it will be overspent. And close apostrophe, close bracket, you press enter. So once you press enter, you will notice that here we'll have variance analysis. So unselect the budget, select the variance analysis. So right now we will have the name over here. So what I want to do is I want to amend the cosmetic. So here I don't want the name sum of. So I click the visual, I go to add data. I'll just double click over here. So double click this, remove all this, backspace, enter. So now we will have budget allocated 14.7. Then what I'll do is I'll just go to the format your visual. Okay, if you want to change color, you go to format your visual. But if just say you want to change the name, you want to remove the sum of, add data to your visual, double click over here, and then remove sum of. So here we are done. And then I want to do the same thing for sum variance, whereby what I'm going to do is I'll just double click over here, and there you go. So here we have variance. So now what I'll do is I want to change the color. I don't want this as light black. So I'll go here, go to the format of visual, category label, choose it as maybe white color. And then I'll do the same thing for callout value. I'll choose here white color. So if just say I want to change the background, I go to general, effects, and then what I'll do is I'll just choose here a dark blue. So there you go. You can actually choose format painter, and you can click it over here, so it will change accordingly. And you can do the same, change over here, and you do the same, and you change over here. So right now this is our details over here, whereby we have budget allocated, actual amount, variance, and overspend. But how we can actually put the variance into a proper accounting format? Instead of negative, I want bracket. Well, what you need to do is you need to go to the model view, you click on your variance, and then over here, as you can see, the format is whole number. Click over here, scroll down, you go to custom. And then what you do is, instead of this format, what you do is you put a semicolon, open bracket, hashtag, comma, 0, close bracket, press enter. So once you press enter, now you'll notice when you go to report view, it will change into a proper format. So now this is our data over here. Next, what I want to do is I want to create a table. So you don't have to click the table. Instead, you can just click on expense category. It will actually pop out as a table over here. So now this is the data. So let me just increase the size. So if you want to increase the size, you can go to format your visual. You go to values. You can increase the size to 12 or 13, up to you. And if you want to increase the header, you can go to column headers and you can put here 12. So now it looks better. So now what I want to do is I want to actually put the budget and actual. So I'll turn on the budget, I'll turn on the actual. So now this is how it looks like, and I will also turn on the variance and turn on the variance analysis. So if you want to remove this name, you can go here, format your visual or add data to your visual. You'll just double click on sum of and double click over here and double click over here again. So there you go. And then you can just expand this a little. So let me just expand this. So now this is our data, whereby we can actually understand what is the variance analysis. So when I click on accounting and finance, we notice that accounting and finance is actually underspent, overspent. So if it's overspent, we can actually understand this is how it looks like. When I click chairman office, when I click corporate affairs, it's underspent, so we can see the data over here, and we can actually sort the data according to the variance. So from here we can understand that certain expenses is underspent, certain expenses is overspent.